Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone's enjoying today. How are you doing, Natosh?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good.
Yeah, it's an exciting day for
Right.
learning.
Kids are out of school today. This
Yeah,
week. My daughter just finished up, so
yeah.
she's just looking at me like, what are we gonna do this summer?
Got to keep them busy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for everyone that's joining today. If you want, please go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself in the chat. I'm always curious to see which small businesses and nonprofits are joining us today. Awesome. So today we have a lot to cover. I'm gonna be going through the material quickly. Um, San Diego Futures Foundation. Hello, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. It's good to see you again.
Nice, nice. Like I said, we have a lot to cover today, and I'm going to be going over 4 different automation platforms. Um, and so I just want everyone to be able to follow along. I do have some help in the audience for people that will be helping me facilitate today's workshop. Wonderful.
Hi, Tanya.
Let me see, view. Can everyone see my screen okay? Awesome. All right. Well, today is June 13th. This is the Project Most Workshop 5. So this is our 5th workshop we've done in the series. And I'm super excited for the next 2 workshops. We're going to be focusing on digital tools and generative AI for small business, which is so needed in, helping your business grow as things begin to ramp up with your projects, your programs, the services you're providing, as you're growing your business. You definitely need to implement these types of tools to help your business grow. My name is Elizabeth Cotton. I'm the executive director of Black Tech Link, and welcome for those that are just joining. Um, and I just want to briefly talk about some upcoming events. Our last workshop was great. It focused on government contracting with the county and the state of California. And I wanted to provide some additional resources that are coming up in San Diego. And on June 28th, June 29th, there's the 4th annual Black Entrepreneur Leaders and Learners Business Government Contracting Summit. It's going to be held at UCSD Park and Market. And here you'll be able to connect with government contractors from the county, from Caltrans, from the state of California, different government agencies, as well as like corporate agencies that are also looking for diverse suppliers. So I've been to this event before. Great information. I highly suggest you check it out. Check out Bell Group SD, and this event is free. So please, please take advantage. Also the same weekend is the San Diego Nonprofit Academy. I will be attending this event, but it's put on, I believe, by USD, and it's a great resource for nonprofits to help grow their business. I'm curious to see what type of workshops they're going to have, but I I think I will put the link in the chat and share it. Um, but I know that right now the list is full, but there is a wait list, and I know people drop out, and so I would just email the host and see if there's an opportunity that you can just come. And so right now I like to give Natasha the floor to talk about Project Most and what we've been doing so far.
Thank you and welcome, everybody. We're really excited and thankful that you joined us today. Really quickly, Project Most is a concerted effort by the County of San Diego and Live Well San Diego to focus on one particular thing, helping small nonprofits and helping small businesses grow. That is our only focus. And so, what we're offering are these exciting and well informed, open ended, open exit workshops that Elizabeth is leading around various titles and information around how do you grow your business. What are the tools? What's the information, the contacts, and the resources? The second thing that we offer are our incubators. We have an incubator for small business development and nonprofit development, where you come in over a 12-month period of time, develop an action plan for one growth strategy, and work with a subject matter expert to grow that strategy. So we want to, again, thank you for coming and enjoy this outstanding information that we're about ready to learn. I'm excited because I know very little about technology. So teach me. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Absolutely. And so, as Natasha shared about our program partners is the Prep Institute, who is managing this program and directing the resources for this program. We also have Rise San Diego, who's doing the marketing and outreach for the program, and my organization, Black Tech Link, which is developing the workshops that you all have been attending lately. All right, as I mentioned before, this is the third part of our Project Most workshop series, focusing on digital tools and generative AI. And today we're going to focus on utilizing digital tools to optimize, streamline, and automate business operations. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm the executive director of Black Tech Link. We're a California-based nonprofit organization that focuses on the economic development of Black communities by promoting STEM careers, helping entrepreneurs that have STEM business. Like my background, I worked in STEM careers before. I worked through a lot of different industries, hospitality, government, education, real estate. And one of my claims to fame is that I worked on the space shuttle project, the endeavor of bringing it to the California Science Center from Inglewood to the California Science Center Exposition Park. We utilize a lot of tools to make that happen, project management tools, some of which I will share today. All right, well, let's begin. So as a business owner, we wear many hats. I'm sure we can all agree. I know some people are like, I started a business to do yoga, right? I started a business to do construction. I started a nonprofit to give back to my community. But as a business owner, a nonprofit owner, we wear so many hats to make our business run efficiently, to make us be compliant, to make sure that we can do business. So, we're accountants, we're project managers, we're marketers, we're HR managers, we're recruiters. We do all these things. Like I'm my own PR manager, right? Business development officer. We do all of these things. And sometimes it can become very daunting trying to manage all these tasks. And we sometimes lose track of what we really want to do, come to business to do, which is, what we love. And so we don't want people to get frustrated and quit. So I remember there was a time where I loved cooking, right? I grew up cooking, and I had the opportunity to start my own business as a chef. And what I realized is that I love cooking, but I do not like cooking for hundreds of people. And so I was like, okay, I'm an accountant. I'm managing teams, and I was like, this is not necessarily what I prefer. And so sometimes it takes us getting out of our shell to realize, is this, really what we want to do? We want to make things easier for business owners, to continue managing the work that they're doing, what they're set out to do. And so this is why we automate. There's so many digital tools out there to help us with the everyday business functions of our organization or our company. And today I'm going to share some of those tools. But first, I want to talk about why automation. As I mentioned before, it's so easy to get stressed out in doing all of these little day-to-day things. We want to make sure that we're offering our service properly, we're executing on our nonprofit goals properly, And so it's really important to automate. The reason we automate, increase efficiency, it helps you with speeding up those tasks, especially if you have a 24/7 operation. It can help you operate business continuously without breaks. Labor costs, automation tools help you save on labor. So you're not necessarily hiring out all these people to do different tasks at your job or at your company. You can utilize automative tools to save on those costs. Error reduction. It like, instead of everyone, for instance, it creates accountability. So that's what I want to say. So that's also why we automate. Provides for better record keeping, better compliance, and also me like just a better customer experience, faster service, personalization, and we'll talk about some of those tools today. So just want everyone to keep calm and automate. I know sometimes when we get these, like, when we see these digital tools, it can be frustrating, especially learning any digital tool, any software as a service system, any web-based platform can become very, very frustrating, but essentially these tools are here to help you. So I'm going to teach a little bit about, I think, 4 of the tools that I utilize on a day-to-day basis for my nonprofit organization, which helps me like stay in line with the task so I can focus on the work that I was set out to do. So today we are going to talk about Google Drive. And please put in the chat if you've used any of these platforms before. And let us know like your familiarity with them. When we like Google Drive helps share your work online, access your documents from anywhere, talk about Google Suite, talk a little bit about Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and some of the apps that are utilized in Google Drive today. We'll talk about Canva. Sometimes we cannot afford a graphic designer to create every little piece of graphic social media post. So Canva helps develop visually appealing graphics for your organization to promote your services, your organization, your business. And so we'll talk a little bit about Canva and how do you reach your customers? Are you emailing every person like directly, or can you automate that and utilize like a email system where you can blast out an email to everyone that's in your network, and then Asana, like how do we delegate work to people that are in our organization? Since COVID, a lot of people are working across home, they're working at different times. And so Asana is a great tool to manage like tasks and to hold your organization staff members accountable to help track and manage their work. Okay. All right. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. We're going to do a live demo because I'm a doer. And so what we're going to do is I created a fake company called Mermaid Hair, and I want to show you how I help build some projects for my business utilizing each of these tools. And today we're going to start with Google Drive. Okay, so I'm going to start my share. Okay. So please put in the chat if anyone's not used Google Drive before, just because I want to see. So everyone says that all they've used everything except Asana. Okay. Absolutely. All right. So since everyone's used Google Drive, I want to showcase like how I use Google Drive to do tasks really quickly and how to also delegate with my team members. And so this is Google Drive. When you create a Gmail account, let's start there. So this is my Gmail account, right? There are, it looks like a little numbers pad. Those are your Google Apps, right? In the Google Apps is Google Drive. You click on that and it takes you to the Google Drive for the email associated, which is my Black Tech Link email, right? And it shows you all the recent files that you've opened. If you want to look at for your folders view, it shows all the folders. I went ahead and created a folder called Mermaid Hair. And how I did that is I went to right in the left corner is new. And before we jump into how to utilize Google Drive, like why do we use Google Drive? I believe that it takes us away from like a paper-based system, storing files on your computer. It's important to, it supports putting files in the cloud. You know, as you put files in the cloud, it's easier access. You know, if something were to happen to your computer, those files are not lost. So I really encourage people to migrate files from your computer to Google Drive. So that way you will always have access to them, and then you can create easier access for people on your team. All right. So right here, the left side is new. You can create a new folder. So say I've already created the folder Mermaid Hair. I'm going to click in the folder. I'm going to create a new folder. And this folder it'll be a subfolder. I will put create a folder graphics for Mermaid Hair. And one of the projects that we're going to be creating, I have my team on the line. One of the projects we're going to be creating with Mermaid Hair is we're going to do a soft launch, right? We're going to do a fake event, but it's an event, it's a program. I guess a lot of companies do events, and I'm going to showcase how we streamline these tools to help us with our event that we're going to do. So I went ahead and created a graphic for Mermaid Hair. So when we create graphics, we can easily upload them. It'll be access to everyone who's on this drive. And then you can also upload files from your computer. Let's say you have a file on your computer. You can also upload that file as well. All right. And then if you have a folder on your computer, you can also upload the folder from your desktop or your computer to the Google Drive as well. Some of the apps, so in the past, has anyone used, I'm pretty sure we've all used Microsoft Office Suite. So Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, we've all used that at some point in our lives, I imagine. If you haven't, please let me know. The reason I like Google Drive is that it's free. While Microsoft Office is great, we're familiar with, they do charge. Some people may have access to it for free, whether through their company, whether they pay for it, whether they downloaded it illegally, you know. But I love Google Drive because it is essentially very similar to Microsoft Office Suite. It has some of the same features, some of the same applications that you can do right in the cloud. All right. So I have created a Google Doc, and basically I'll do another Google Doc to show. Let's see. I'm going to create a new Google Doc. And so this is what Google Doc looks like. And I do have my team members who have access to this folder. I'm going to call this one Outreach Letter for soft launch, because that's what we're doing, is a soft launch, right? And so I've named the file, and very similar, it has like different features that you would see, like if you want to make a copy, if you want to share the file, if you want to email the file to others, if you want to download it, you can download it as a doc, you can download it as a PDF, you can rename the file, all of these things. You can edit, like just similar features, very similar to Microsoft Office Suite. You can format the file, you can have different tools, things like that. And then also here's your taskbar, which has a lot of the features that are in the menu option as well. And so I do have my team, and the reason I love this is because like I can easily alert my team like, hey, I need an outreach letter written to send to barbers and to beauty shop owners. So I'm gonna, let's see. I'm gonna start this letter. And I'm gonna highlight it. And once I highlight it, it gives you different options. And it's a collaborative document, so others can work on the document while you're also in it. And that's why I love Google Drive. I'm gonna add a comment and I'm gonna assign this to, let's see. I think Jasmine's already in there. I'm gonna assign this to Jasmine. I'm gonna also send a note, please complete the outreach letter. Right? So, and it says, what kind of access do I want to give this document? I'm adding access to her. So she's an editor, right? So and then what you do is you leave comments, right? And so this has been assigned to Jasmine. And once this is highlighted on the right side, you can see like, well, what tasks have been assigned. Oh, Jasmine, she's on here. She wrote, I'm on it. So she responded. And once she's complete with it, she'll mark it as resolved and then it'll be complete. All right. Wonderful. All right. We'll come back to that. So that is Google Docs. And in the right also, you can see all comments. So as other workers, staff members, employees are working in this document, they can add comments and you can go through each of these comments, right? To see like what's going on in the document, how you need to update changes. And then like I said, it's real time and it's a great platform to work on docs real time. And just like Google Sheets or Google Docs, there's also, it's called Google Sheets. It mimics Excel. So I created a file in Excel called mermaid hair, hairdressers. And I'm going to update this to barbershops. So I do have another colleague in here, Tatiana. She's going to start here, just like Google or Microsoft Excel, very similar features to Excel. What we're doing in this document is we are creating a spreadsheet, right, of all the barbers, so we can create like a listserv, so we can email these people directly. We have all their contact information. We can utilize this if we need to send postcards or mailers to them. We can use this as for emails as well. So whenever I do an event, I always try to create the type of email list. I think like for all business owners, nonprofits owners, having like an email database of all your constituents, all of the people that you serve is so important. And so Google Sheets, there's more sophisticated digital tools, but at the very least, having a Google Sheets document is so important, just so you can keep track of, the people that you serve. Nice. All right. And so here, same features. You can insert tables, drawings, emojis, format documents like wrapping text. If you've used Google or Microsoft Excel, same thing. But I will say that there are some features of Microsoft Office Suite that Google Sheets does not mimic, like I think like pivot tables and some of those types of things. So, but it's a really good second option. And so right now I see, and if I look in the right, I can see who's working on this document right now. So I see Jasmine is in this document as well as Tatiana. So they're both ready to work on this document. Okay. And then another feature I want to showcase is if I do new, there's also Google Slides, which mimics PowerPoint. And then there's also Google Forms. A lot of you signed up for this program through our Google Forms. And so, I would say explore these types of apps that are within Google Drive and see how it can benefit your business. All right. And then I just want to go over a little bit of the left menu. So if I click on My Drive, right, this is everything that's in My Drive right here, right? All the folders. So this is like, instead of having it on my desktop, I have it in the drive. And then there's also a folder on the left side called Shared Drives. These are other people's drives that are shared with me. So I can go inside their drives and comment depending on the access they give me. I can make changes. I can add files to their drives as well. All right. Let's see. And then some people may not give me access to a shared drive. They may give me access to a shared document or a PDF, right? So these are things that have been shared with me. So, documents have been shared with me, but I am not the owner. I'm not the creator of these. Other people have shared these documents. So, and then you can also have put things in the trash. Right now, I believe if you start off with Google Drive, they offer 15 gigabytes free, which is pretty big. But once you start adding video and pictures and large files, that storage can fill up pretty quickly. So you can always get more storage. Like I'm 77% full, so I'm probably going to end up getting more storage sooner or later. All right. All right, let's move on. So any questions with Google Drive? All right. So next things next. As we are, let me go back to my drive really fast. And then you can also use a toolbar too. I'm gonna type in mermaid hair. This is my folder. Yeah, I'm back in it. Next things next, we're gonna highlight Canva. So, some people may not be the best marketers, but when you need something on the fly, Canva is your best friend. If you need to just put out a social post. And I had a mentor who told me that as a business owner, as a nonprofit owner, your marketing doesn't have to be perfect when you first start. It's something that will build over time. You'll know what looks more visually appealing and you can grow those efforts. But he said just put the marketing and let people know that you're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a save the date. And let's see, has anyone not used Canva before? Okay. Some people say all except, okay. So for Canva, what I like to do is we're going to create a design. And this is what Canva looks like when you first sign in. Canva has grown so much. I started using it 10 years ago. And what they offer now is just beautifully insane. And so I see Linda has never used Canva before. So welcome to Canva. When you sign into Canva, I'm trying to get rid of this stuff. Okay, when you sign into Canva, has all of these toolbars. Here we go. The first thing you want to do is create a design. And there's so many tutorials on how to utilize Canva. And they're about a minute and a half each, depending on what you want to do. But Canva is really great for creating all kinds of designs, not just social media posts. It's great for creating flyers. It's great for creating, you can even create websites. You can even create like video content. You can create presentations. As a business owner, I utilize it to create presentations and social media posts and flyers and brochures, little business like publications, things that I need for that sense. And so we're going to create a design. I'll show you how to create a design. So first thing you do is click on the right and it shows you what kind of design do you want to create? I want to create a flyer. So I'm going to click on flyer. Okay. And then it brings you to this flyer, like to this blank document. And I'm going to name the flyer. I'm going to call it mermaid hair. You know, I'm also going to add my team, one of my team members in here. I'm just going to say, please join. And you can share, you can share access to Canva for people that have never used it before. Okay. So I'm going to share access to Tatiana and just put their email in and hit send, and they'll be able to have access to it. So I want to start with the left side. The left side is design. How are we going to design it? You can start by scratch and build out your own like design. That takes a lot of work, you know, and you have to be visually inclined to do that work. And so what I would say is up here is a toolbar. Depending on the type of design you want to do, just type it in, you know. There's so many templates that people have already done for different events. Canva saves those. It can be shared. You can redo it. You change the color. You can change the pictures out. And so I just really wanted a quick flyer for our soft launch for mermaid hair. See, I see a note that says Tatiana said, what are we creating today? I'm going to say a flyer for mermaid hair soft launch. I'm going to grab a template, right? I'm going to say mermaid hair. I'm just going to say hair salon flyer. Bam. So they already suggested, like, once you type in hair, they're like, okay, hair care, hair salon flyer. I'm going to see what they have for hair salon flyer. So I'm looking at these types of flyers and I see all these templates. They look okay. I'm going to just grab one I think would be a great one. Let's see. Sorry, I'm picky. Here's one. Yeah, I'll try this one. Hair salon. Actually, let's try this one. All right. So I'm in this picture. I don't necessarily like care for it, as this is a black hair care salon, or black hair care product. So what you can do is when you click on different elements or parts of like the template that's already provided, you can make changes to it. So I'm going to delete this picture. And when the picture becomes, you see this, like it looks like a cloud, green field, that means you can add a picture in there, right? And so I'm going to the design. I found a template that I like. I'm going to go to elements. So you can use different elements. Elements are not necessarily pictures. They're like little logos, little icons, little stickers. I'm going to find one that says hair, right? Or what's a styling tool, like a brush. But I have to be more specific. Hairbrush. Bam. So I'm going to click on that and I'm just going to throw that. You can size it just by hovering over it and, you know, make it bigger, make it smaller. We're going to put that right there. And then as you hover over stuff that turns purple, you can click on it and delete it if you don't want it, right? So the element that you're using, whether it's text, whether it's a picture, when it has a purple outline, that means you can manipulate it or change it. Okay. Okay, cool. So I see my designer added a picture in there. She's adding pictures already. So how does she add those pictures? You can upload your own pictures. There's a feature up here on the left side that says, let's see, it says upload. uploads. These are different pictures I've uploaded, throughout the, me utilizing Canva. So I have logos, I have pictures of friends, QR codes, things like that. So if you have a picture that you like already, a picture you've taken already of people utilizing your service, share it, upload it, add it to Canva, put it on a flyer, And then, or if you don't have a photo, there is if you don't have a photo, you can click on the photos on the left side and type in the type of photo you want. Let's see. Black hair care. So it's Canva has this rich stock, this gallery of stock images that you can use, So you can type in anything, right? You can type in black hair salon, see what pops up, right? I think my intern typed in black hair salon and was able to grab this picture. I like that picture. I can also go back and update it, drag and drop. I like that one better, right? So utilize photos, identify a stock image photo. You can add it to your presentations, if you don't have a stock image. I also want to highlight a feature. It's a new feature called Magic Media, right? So this is Canva's utilizing AI to generate images, right? And so it says enter 5 or plus words to describe. And then we're going to see what it populates. I'm going to type in Black Mermaid logo. Black woman mermaid, because our new product is called mermaid hair, right? So inspire me. Then you just click on inspire me. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. Black woman hair or hair. Black woman mermaid. See what pops up. Just press enter. And so right now this line, it's generating black woman mermaid. Right. Okay. So Canva, they're coming up with some ideas.
So Elizabeth, we have a question. When you use pictures from Canva, are they copyrighted?
That is a really good question. A lot of the stock images that people utilize are for public use. There's other platforms where you do have to actually pay for their use, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, Shutterstock, that's one that I use. There are certain images that are not necessarily on they're images that are not necessarily on Canva that you will have to pay for. And they'll tell you like the type of use that you can use it for, whether it's for print, but if you're utilizing these for social media, for presentations, you should be okay. All right. So I grabbed this logo. And added it. So that's utilizing AI. And I know you've seen a lot of people utilizing like AI for pictures and stuff. Sometimes it looks really fake, but I would say give it a go. It's very interesting. If you can't necessarily find like the photo you're looking for, just type it in. All right. And then there's other types of features, if let's say we want to change this background. So I like a water background. It's probably going to look funky. So there's different types of backgrounds you can utilize. You know, you just type in what you want, and you can also use plain backgrounds too. You just, you know. And then you can also, so this is just a flyer that we're creating, something very simple, right? And you can change all of these informations and whatnot. Let's see. All right. So we made a flyer for our event. Now what? It's not the best flyer. My team's still working on it, but it's something to go off of. And let's say, okay, I like this flyer, but I want to turn it into uh, I want to utilize it as an Instagram post. I want to utilize it as a header for an event. What do I do? You just hit up here where it says resize. So what you do is click on resize and you type in, where do you want to resize it? It'll make suggestions for you, but I want to resize it as an Instagram post. And then you can click more. I also want to resize it as a Facebook ad too. So I'm going to hit continue. All right. So now it's resized my designs. I'm going to open it as an Instagram post. So now it's an IG post, and it's not going to resize it perfectly. You're definitely going to have to like stretch it out, make it fit, you know, move the elements around so that it looks like what you want it to look like. So it's a matter of like just dragging it, making it bigger, however you want to do it, you know, making the text bigger. Like you see, again, I'm pulling over. Or if you don't want to drag and make bigger, you can use these features up here, right? So right now the font size is 11.4. Let's change that to a 8, like 20, right? It looks bigger. You can bold it, you know. Let's change this font. Let's make it a little bit thicker. So it has Canva has all these amazing fonts too. So that's not the nicest font. But yeah, so that way people can read it more. You know, it could fit the graphic that you're working on. Right. So, and then you can also create presentations. But before we create a presentation, I'm going to go to file. Maybe I don't want to resize this. I want to create a new design. You can go to the left and put create new design. And I'm going to put presentation. And this is one of the, you know, features that I use most in Canva is creating presentations because I'm always doing workshops. I'm always giving sales pitches as a nonprofit business owner. If you're looking for funding, if you're looking to build a relationship, a partnership with someone, they're always going to ask you like, hey, can you send me something so I can take a look? I know everyone's been asked that. Like you're talking to someone, they're like, this sounds great. Can you send me something? You know, and to send them something, you can create a presentation. Sometimes creating those visually appealing graphics to capture someone's interest can be so difficult, especially if you don't have the money to pay a graphic designer. But Canva is your best friend. And I'm going to go over presentation. This is the one I love. And right here, again, back to design, the little icon that says design, click on templates. And so I see all of these beautiful templates that come up, right? So this is the template, and it hasn't added it just yet to my main screen, but these are all the pages in the template, you know? And so I pick which page I like the most. I'm going to start with this front page. I may not necessarily like this picture. So as my cursor is hovered over it, just click on it and hit delete, and you can add your own picture there. I'm going to add a photo. Um, I like this one of the making deals. right? So that's how I change it. That's how I personalize Canva to my own brand, what I want to convey with my business. And I'm gonna call this mermaid hair. And if I, it's like, how do I find that photo again that I was using before? If you go to photos, there's a lot of, it shows this is what you recently used. So I'm gonna go back to that photo, mermaid hair, right? So I'm already creating like a presentation for uh others to see, you know, and then I can add a page. You can go back to design, and it's like, what a page do you want to add, or and you can select a page about us, and you just click on it and write what you want to write. Mermaid hair is da 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 da, right? And you just change the pictures out, and it's so easy to create a presentation if you need to do a presentation deck or on the pass or on the fly. Um, PowerPoint is cool. I like PowerPoint, but it doesn't give you as many features, as many options, as many templates as Canva does. And so I implore you guys to like check out Canva. Okay. We are going to move on, all right? But before I do, let's see. I'm going to download this. So if I want to download this, to my desktop, file, download, and it tells you, how do you want to download this? Some platforms you may want to download as a PDF. I'm going to download it as a PNG file. I don't want the 2 pages. I only want the page with the mermaid hair, the front page. So you can select the page that you want. I'm going to select page 1. Done. Download. All right, so I've finished downloading that. I'm going to use that, and you can use it on Facebook. I can use it as a header on an email campaign, which will show you next. I can use it on like any type of post, right? So I can use it as a flyer. I need to create a flyer, send it to print, right? So Canva is super versatile, and I'm happy for any of those who want to go more in depth about some of the features of Canva. Please let me know. Moving on. I'm going to move on to one of the email platforms that I use called MailChimp. I love MailChimp. Some of you guys may be fans of Constant Contact, which is also great. There's so many email newsletter platforms out there, but I really love MailChimp. I've been rocking with it, I want to say for like 20 years. And so just love it. Now owned by Intuit. The price has gone up in a little bit every year, but I think like how it works is that you're allowed 2,000 contacts, and if you go over those 2,000 contacts, the price goes up a little bit, but I believe it's free. Let's see. So let me log out. I'm gonna log in. So this is what it looks like when you log in. Come to your dashboard, right? And there's a lot of things that you can do with MailChimp. You can create landing pages. You can send out SMS, text messages to people. What I like to use it for is just a simple email campaign. This is how I stay in contact with my constituents for my nonprofit, and how I send out visually, like how I keep my audience engaged and let them know what services, what events I have coming up. So I'm going to create a new campaign, right? And I'm going to show you how to create one from scratch, right? So I'm going to create a regular email. So when you click, it shows all the things that you can create. You can create a SMS text message. I have a lot of contacts with phone numbers, so I can send out an email or a text message to people's phones. And then you can also create websites, landing pages for an event, but we're going to show a simple email. So I'm going to go to design email. Where am I sending this to? I'm going to send this to choose an audience. I do have a lot of audiences. So, and you can change the audience of, let's say like Black Tech Link is my large audience of everyone that is a part of, my audience, my network. But I also have a sub list called SoCal Schools, which is specifically outreaching to colleges and community colleges and universities. And I keep that in a separate list. So when I want to send out a specific message to that audience, it's already segmented. Okay. But we're going to send it out to my large list. And it shows like who do you want to send it out to? And I'll show you how to create tags and stuff, how to tag certain members of your audience. And you can also say, hey, I don't want to send it to certain people in my audience, depending on like, if you don't want to message certain people. You can also personalize the to field. So when I do send a message to everyone, instead of just saying like, you know, instead of saying like, mermaid hair coming soon, it'll say that person's name. It'll say, hey, hey, Jeremy, it'll say, hey, Jessica, and it'll be personalized to each person that's in my list. Okay. But you have to use tags like this, first name, right? So I can personalize merge tag, first name. All right. So everybody's first name will be in there in the message when I send it out. I want to edit who this is from. Right now it just says Elizabeth. People may not know like me as the owner, Elizabeth, but they do know mermaid hair. So make sure you update mermaid hair. And then you can put your email address, right? So I'm going to send it from mermaid hair. Subject. What's the subject line? Subject line is mermaid hair soft launch party. This is what's going to show up in people's inbox and they're going to want to click on it. So make sure it sounds really, really exciting. You have about 150 characters. So if you want to add a little emoji, something exciting, I'm going to say you're invited so people know. And then it also adds like a preview text. So maybe it'll see after the subject line. If I want to create a small, like a call to action, I can say like RSVP now. Limited spots available, right? So people are like, oh, I better get to this soft launch. There's limited spots available. That's the first thing that people will see. Click save. Since Intuit purchased MailChimp not too long ago, you used to be able to schedule the send time that you want to send out. Like say, I don't want to send it out at 12:24. I want to send it out at, like 2 o'clock on the dot. But now you have to pay for that feature. But, it's something you can pay for if you want to upgrade. But if you want to just send it now, you click on send now. You save it, send now. So this is my favorite part. Like, let's get into the content building. So the next part after you describe who your audience is, who the message is from, the subject line, the send time, you're going to do the content. What are we going to share in this email? Right? So they want you to select a template. There's all these different types of templates that you can choose from. I always go with just, basic, or you can choose, what's the difference? The column width is going to be like the full span of the email. The ones that say one column 1.2, it's going to have a little bit buffer in between like the web page, depending on how you open your email, whether it's on a desktop or mobile. But I always go with basic, column 1. All right, so it's loading. So if you look on the right side, it says these are the type of blocks that you can add to your to your email campaign. The ones that are already in here are mandatory. Okay, you have to put a block there. So we're gonna start with the logo. And when it says logo, it just means a graphic. So I'm gonna edit my block. I'm gonna replace. So these are different designs I've used in the past. I'm gonna upload. Let's upload that mermaid hair. All right, so this is what we just created in Canva. I'm uploading it. It says this image is so big, it'll, uh, MailChimp, like some photos are so big, MailChimp has a feature where you can resize it. So it says, let's fix it. Just click on let's fix it. It's already resized. It already resizes it for you. So just hit save. All right. Once you hit the let's fix it, it'll fix it automatically and just hit save. So now it's not going to blow up my email campaign when people see it. Let's see. Let's see if Jasmine finished that oh, she did. She finished the in Google Drive, she finished the outreach letter. We're going to take this outreach letter. Let's see. So it already has a text box, but I can delete that text box just by clicking on the right here. But like I said, if it's already like, if there's a text box in there, you have to put some type of content box in there, whether it's another text box, an image, a break, a divider. So I'm going to put a divider right here. Right. And I like to use dividers because it breaks up the email. Sometimes emails are like, okay, what am I reading? Sometimes it's cool to have breaks in your email. I'm going to use a text box. All right, that's everything, right? So this is the outreach letter. You can also, so here is different features. Sometimes when you copy and paste from different platforms, you may not like the text. So what I do is I highlight everything. This is my best friend. I just clear styles. So this is the automated version of it. So mermaid hair, right? So this is it. Mermaid hair. Sometimes I like to create a call to action. What is mermaid hair? You can add a link to it. Let's add a link to that web address for mermaid hair. Call it mermaidhair.com. And it'll hyperlink mermaid hair. So people will be like, what's mermaid hair? They can click right on it in the email. So those are some of the options. You can also add an image. I don't really have an image, an extra image. But let's see what I have in here. I'm gonna add a picture of Audrey. Audrey, and then so as I mentioned before, the size of pictures can only be so big. So if there's a large picture, I would say the go-to width of a picture is 600. So save and insert image. If you do it any bigger than that, it'll blow up your email. So, and I can even make it smaller. I can wrap it around the text. Those are different features too. So different styles. Let's say I want a bold mermaid hair soft launch. I just hit heading 4 or heading 2, make it bigger, make it bolder, italicize it, different features like that. Let's say I want to center that specific text that I highlighted, center, things like that. And then just hit save and close. Right. And so that's what I'm going to send out, right? And you can also send out other things too, like One of the things that I also like to add is share. Like as I'm sending this out to people, I want people to be able to share it really quickly. So they can share it on Facebook, they can share it on Twitter, they can forward it to a friend. All they have to do is click on these buttons in the email and it'll automatically share. Let's see. And then here are the links to my business. At the bottom, oops, let's say Twitter. You have to update these too. Mermaid hair, facebook.com/mermaid hair. Put all your links. People will, if you give an opportunity, like people will click on these things, right? So put all your platforms down there. If you have YouTube, if you have, put your email down there, mermaid hair, if you have, what else? If you have Instagram, right? YouTube, Pinterest, any platforms that you use, add it on there and people will most likely click like, and that's something that you want for marketing. You want people to dive deeper into what you offer and they want to check out, you want them to be able to check out your other platforms. You want them to click, you want them to like, you want them to get engaged to really learn more about what it is that you're offering and what it is that you do. All right. So I'm going to save and close. So I've updated everything. I've added, and you can add more content blocks. This is a good one that I like to add, which is my favorite button, right? So I call them call to action buttons. So sometimes people can get inundated with like reading a whole bunch of stuff, right? But if you want them to do a specific thing right then there, so RSVP here, and then you click where you want them, you hit Eventbrite, your website, where do you want people to go in your email? And sometimes with sending email outreach through your like Google, like Microsoft, through Gmail, you don't have all these features, where an email campaign is visually nice. You can create breaks, you can add pictures, you can add video without everything seeming so like just kind of drab. So, when people click on this, and let's preview it too. You can preview it. What's this going to look like when I send it to people? Let's enter preview mode. Okay. So this is what it's going to be. Mermaid hair, soft launch, RSVP here. It's going to have my address. It's going to have where people can share it, forward it, and then they're going to have links to my website. So that's what it's going to look like when people share it, All right. I am not going to share this, but let's continue. And so it says to send your email, remove, replace the so if I go back to the design, there's some preset let's see, where did I do that? Where? All right. Just continue. Oh, I see where they want me to change it. So it's not going to allow me to send it automatically because it says yourfeedurl.com to send your email, remove or replace the placeholder text. So in my email somewhere, it says yourfeedurl.com. Right here, right? So they want you to put your RSS for real, or you can just delete that. They don't want you to forget and send out template information that was in the template. They want you to make sure you have your own stuff there. All right. So so that my email is ready to go. It's ready to send. You can also add a social post. So if you connect your Facebook, if you connect your Instagram, so I'm gonna put on Black Tech Link. I can write mermaid hair soft launch party. I can add that image from last time and type in you're invited. And this will automatically go to my Facebook page. Remember that Instagram post that we created in Canva? I can also add that to my Instagram page too. by just, yeah, and so, or not, you know, you don't have to. Okay. And then when you're done, just hit send. And let's see, for audience. How do I add my audience? This is your audience dashboard. I would say go to view contacts, add contacts. It says right here too, in the big right-hand corner, it says add contact. It says, how do you want to add a contact? Do you want to add a contact one person by one person? You can also import your contacts. If you have a list, like I have my, see, she's building out a list right now of people, right? I can take this list right here. You can upload a file if you have an Excel file, a CSV file, or you can copy and paste it. I'm going to copy and paste it since she's already, see. All right, I just copied and pasted from an Excel file. Continue to organize. Let's update any existing contacts that are already in there, because I don't want to add the same contact over. I don't want someone to get double messages. So just update any existing contacts that may be in my mail. Continue to tag. I don't have any tags, so I'm going to write a tag. Say barber or mermaid hair. Create mermaid hair. So that's my tag. Every contact that I'm adding will be tagged with mermaid hair. We're going to continue to match. So it says not recognized. You have to say, what are we categorizing these columns as? So this will be the company name. This will be the first name, the last name. This will be the address. All right. City, state, you know, zip. This will be the city. This will be the state. And this will be the zip code. Right? And then I will hit continue to subscribe. All right. I'm not going to subscribe these people. I bet these are like, they're really, like my team's really looking for beauties and, you know, barbers. But I would hit continue to subscribe and it would upload all of those to my contacts, my Black Tech Link contacts, and it'll have the tag mermaid hair. All right. So that's how you do that. All right.
Elizabeth, we have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Any tips to grow email list?
Any tip? There's so many tips. That is a very loaded question. There's so many tips to, like MailChimp, when you send out a MailChimp like newsletter, if people click on it, like on a social platform like a Facebook or a it'll say like if people like it, they can subscribe to it. Let's see. MailChimp also has like a sign up form, right? Which you can see add a pop-up or embed form to your website to collect subscribers. So if you're using WordPress, you can add this sign up form. You can create a pop-up on your, you can create like a pop-up on your form, on your website. So my website's kind of like being worked upon, but let's see if we can go to it really fast if it pops up. See this form right here? Contact us today. When people sign up, they will automatically be added to my MailChimp listserv. So that is also an option. There's integrations that you can utilize, but that's something, if you're building out a website, I would say talk to your web developer and they're going to ask you, okay, please give me the link or the code to the sign up form so we can embed it into your website. We can embed it to your social platforms. So that's a way to utilize MailChimp to grow your audience, right? So, and then
Do
you
we,
can also, like, if you can also share a link. So, let's see, this is my SoCal like schools one. You can also have this link right here. When you create forms or sign up pages in MailChimp, you can click on this link, right? And you can change what exactly you want to be on the link, want to be in the form. Like, see how this is what my form looks like. Email address, first name, last name, phone number, school name, title, website. So that's what the form looks like. And when let's see, when I send this link to people, I can put it in my newsletter. I can say like, have a link, sign up to our newsletter today. They'll be able to go directly to it and grow, you can grow your list that way. All right. There's
another
so many ways to
question?
grow
Any,
lists.
there's another quick question before we move to Asana.
Mhm.
Any tips for easily segmenting existing mailing lists?
Existing mailing lists. Like that's already in MailChimp? That's a good question. So let's say you have this huge list and you haven't already segmented the list. Like you can go to manage your audience and view your contacts. And it's really like what you provide. So like I make sure I tag my list. But there's not necessarily an easy way to, unless you go one by one, unless you what I would do, let's say you have this list of people, right? You have a list of like donors, you have a list of constituents, and you're like, oh, I want to separate my donors from my constituents. What you need to do is you can re-upload, like let's say you have the list of donors already and they're already mixed in. Re-upload let's see, re-upload the contacts, right? You can re-import them and tag them, right? But this time, don't forget, you tag them as donors, like I had showed you, like we did mermaid hair, we tagged them. Tag them as donors, and then it'll say replace or update any existing um uh update any existing audience members. And once you do that, it'll add that tag, and that's how you will be able to segment them in the future. Okay. And I can show you how to do that if you want to schedule time with me. But I've had, people attend multiple of my events, and it's like, how do I know who's attended my events or what people are coming to my events? I make sure after every event that I have, after every, you know, I get like this list of people from, let's say I download the list of people from Eventbrite, I upload them and then I tag them and I can see who's come to my events. And I may still have that same contact from previous events, but I make sure I tag them so I know like, okay, these people are coming this, and this. So I would say just re-upload the list and then tag them, and then it'll update any existing people that are already in your MailChimp audience. Okay. So about 15 minutes left. I'm going to move on to Asana. And I love Asana. Let me start from the beginning. Let me log out. So Asana is free. That's just not like settings. It's not letting me log out. It's fine. Give me one moment, please. I'll be right back. Okay. So, oh, log out of all. Okay. So this is what Asana looks like when you first join. Asana.com, you can utilize your Google to log in, or you can create a password. I've created a password. I'm gonna log into my password, Black Tech Link. So this is what it looks like. It'll say, "Good afternoon, Elizabeth." And it'll kind of give you this dashboard, right? And on the left, it'll show you like, this is the tasks you have coming up. These are the projects that you're working on for your nonprofits or your organization. These are all of the people that are your collaborators, right? My staff members, right? And so I'm going to start showing how you can create a project. Asana is used to manage teams, to manage work. You know, let's say you have a big project, like for Mermaid Hair, we're having this soft launch. I'm going to need all these people to do this, this, and this. And sometimes it's hard for you to keep track of different tasks at your organization that's required for your organization or nonprofit. And Asana helps streamline that. It's a great tool to manage what people are supposed to be doing. Helps assign tasks. And you can also like visualize and manage like the workflow of what it is that you're doing. So I'm going to create a project and says, I'm going to create a blank project. I like starting from scratch just to show you how to use it. And we're going to call it Mermaid Hair. And it shows you the type of privacy that I want. I can invite everyone in your workspace can find access to this project, or only invited members can find access to this project. I'm going to invite everyone. And it shows, and I love Asana because when you create a project, a workflow management project, it's like, how do you best like check off and do your work? Like when you have like a task at, a project that you have to do you have a punch list? Do you check off things, as they come and go? Or do you like have boards like, okay, this part of the project, this is everything that we're doing for this segment of the project. Here's another segment of the project. Here's everything we need to do. So Asana has different like project management views that you can utilize. I myself like to use a board. So to show like what's to do, what's in progress. And then other features are, utilizing like a Gantt chart. So I'm going to use a list. I'm just going to start with the list. All right. I'm going to create a project. So I've created Mermaid Hair. And so, this is the very basic of what it is that you need to do. Right now we have a soft launch coming. And Asana helps you like, it gives these little pop-ups and it'll tell you like how to actually utilize the features. And so I just say got it. But the task name that we're going to be using that is what are the tasks that we're going to be doing? Actually, let's see what board looks like. Actually, we're going to start with board, and we'll go back and forth. But with board, we need to one of the project is we need to invite attendees, right? So this is the task of inviting attendees. And what does that actually mean? I'm going to change this. So the number one task is inviting attendees. How are we going to invite attendees? Email lists, right? You will create your email list. That is the first task that we need to do to invite attendees to come to our event. The next thing you need to assign it to somebody, right? I'm going to assign it to Tatiana. I'm gonna give her a due date. I need this done by tomorrow, right? And then you can say what, you can make a description about this task. Add, update, email list in Drive, add a title. And I know that when we were in Google Drive, we were able to assign tasks to people just by adding at and then typing in their email. But I like this because you get to give people a due date. And sometimes, you know, staff members, even ourselves, are forgetful. It's like, did I tell you to do that? Didn't I tell? And they're like, no, I didn't. You didn't tell me to do that. Didn't I tell you it was due yesterday? Actually, you didn't give me a due date when it was due. So with Asana, you can definitely streamline those tasks. All right. Update list drive and add a title. Right. And then I'm going to say leave task. And what's going to happen is Tatiana is going to get an alert. You know, if they have the app on their phone, if they have the app on their computer, she'll get an email saying, update those tasks, you know, and she'll get an email saying it's due tomorrow. And so if you have if you have a group of like 10 people, like you're managing a conference, you're managing like a construction project, it's really important, like as managers, we're not going to people. We can just automate, you can automate that workflow. See, she said she's getting started on it now. Perfect. I don't have to worry about that. So I can focus on something completely different, right? Even with, and then it shows the views that, you know, this is the list, right? So if you're a list person, right, you can view it as a list, you know. What's another thing that's associated with soft launches? Secure a venue, right? So I'm going to write the task, like I'm going to click on task, or, you know, you can expand it, write the details. It shows it either way. If you want to do it as a list, if you want to do it as a board, you can always expand it. And so the task is look up 3 venues. That's the task. I'm going to send this to Jasmine. Jasmine's not on my team. I can invite her, right? So Jasmine at, I forgot the email she gave me, steamcollab.com, right? Says Jasmine is outside of your network, your workspace, send them an invitation, right? So she's invited. All she's going to do is get an email accepting. She'll be brought here. She'll see that her task is looking up 3 venues, right? She's on there, limited access member. I'm going to need this done by the 20th, right? Just type in look up, and that's how you manage tasks, right? You can and then once it's done, let's say Tatiana is complete, she's just going to mark it as complete. So I know like, oh, this is complete. You know, if I come in next week and I'm like, oh, this is not done, I can follow up to see why, what are some of the hurdles. And so that's how Asana is used. There's other ways that you can use it. You can use it as a Gantt chart, but that's like a Gantt charts are for people that went to like business school. You know, but you can try it for free, you know, if you're working on a construction project and they want to look at like Gantt charts, seeing the project is flowing, that's something you can do. But for myself, I prefer using a board or a list and being able to manage tasks that way. And I like it. People can message me. I can see where a project is going. I can see like what the holdup is. And so that's how I utilize Asana. And Asana is free, but there are certain features if you want to upgrade, you can. They also have a calendar view, you know, so it's like what's due today? All right, tomorrow, you know, she should have the list. So let me check in with her tomorrow to see where that email list is, right? So those are some of the things. And then you can like also like, you know, just update if there's different projects you have, you can write a project description. You know, this is a soft launch. for mermaid hair. See, and I can see who's on here now. Jasmine's in here right now. So she's looking. What's the status? Right now we're on track, right? So that's a status update that all of my team will see, like we're on track. And I can also like say tomorrow, hey, we're off track. What are we doing? We're missing some things. So
We have a question. Can you show the workflow view?
yes. That is a paid feature which I do not have access to. Unfortunately, I was just showing like the basic features, but uh, let's try it for free. Let's see what it looks like. Just create projects with start dates and dependencies so you can stay on schedule and hit your deadline. Okay. That is going to be an added feature. I'm going to have to like dig into this. But I think it's more so like one of the added features of workflow is that when people are working together on a team, some of the tasks that need to be completed may be dependent on someone else completing a task, and the workflow will showcase that, you know? So it's like, I can't complete this task before, like Jasmine can't complete, securing a venue unless we know like how many attendees we're gonna have. So that may like the workflow will showcase like, hey, before she can do this, like Tatiana is gonna have to do this. Okay. Oh, someone says I have an MBA and IT degree and absolutely hate Gantt charts. And that's why I utilize the board and list view. Like I went to business school too, and that wasn't my favorite. I'm more of like a checklist person and I like board views, but there are other kind of views that help. You can also check messages and you can send messages from other people. Also, there's a lot of integrations with all of these apps that I've showed you. So for instance, like if I'm looking up 3 venues, I can also, is there a price max number of people on date you're interested in? So she's talking to me right here in this. And I can just $500 max. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. But I can put that information in there and comment. I can also upload files. So I can also say for Tatiana, I'm gonna add a comment, send the mermaid flyer to attendees. And I'm gonna attach that mermaid hair file. All right. So it's uploading. There we go. So or to the invitees. So she has all that, and you can upload files, put in links, invite people to your drive, your Google Drive. And yeah. So those are the basics of some of the digital tools I wanted to share with you, but I could literally do like a 3-day workshop just on Asana, a 3-day workshop on Drive, MailChimp. But I really wanted to showcase like how I utilize these features and these tools to help my business grow. And I'm happy to chat with anyone. I know it's 1 o'clock and people are like, it's over. But if you want to stay for about 5-10 minutes, I'm happy to share more about some of these tools.
Also, we put the survey link in the chat box. If everybody could take a moment and fill out the survey. The County of San Diego is very interested in learning about how you value these types of workshops and these types of training. So please, it's very important for us to be able to let them know that this type of education is important to you. So again, the survey link is in the chat. So I think you're muted, Elizabeth.
Yes. Sorry about that. Give me one moment. Attendees. So if anyone wants to chat, please let me know. And let me know like if you have any suggestions about like different types of digital tools that you utilize for your business. Like I'm always looking for like the next best thing. So please let me know. Is there any tools? I know in San Diego, you guys have probably seen the ClickUp. ClickUp is very similar to Asana, and it's a really great platform as well. There's Odoo, which is popular. There's Monday, and they're all simple, like essentially the same thing. But I really have been using Asana um, for a while, and it's always great for just big projects. Jasmine, do you use anything in particular?
Yeah, I've used all of those, but Google Drive is really my favorite, especially working collaboratively. And then even if I'm not working collaboratively, being able to find things on my phone, because each of those Google Drive features, all those Google features have a web application and a phone application. So if I typed up a whole document and I'm out and about or at a conference or a meeting or something like that, then I can share that. Same thing with Canva. If I am out and about and someone wants my flyer, then I can just download it to my phone and text it to them. So yeah, I like what you said about having it in the cloud. And so you don't always have to carry around a flash drive like it used to, Google Drive.
Right.
Yeah.
I see Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hey, how you doing, Doug? Hey, good afternoon. So for me, one of the tools I really like, if I try to buy business cards, but I realize people don't always call back, and I run out of them as well. So for digital business cards, there's something called Blink, BLINQ, and you can put in all your links on there, and people can just scan the QR code and basically, get a list of all your websites, all your, social media sites, your email, things like that, really simply. And then I also use, which I know is a little bit still controversial in some ways, is, I use AI as much as I can to kind of prompt me with ideas. So, for example, Microsoft has something called Copilot, which I really like. And then there's also, Google's also rolling out Gemini, which they're still dealing with right now. And Gemini is also pretty cool as well, where you can kind of prompt yourself on, copyright ideas, like what you want to write about for your newsletter, or maybe ideas on, how to find the right target audience. For example, I'm a fine art photographer, so maybe I want to find, interior designers in San Diego, healthcare interior designers, people who are basically putting art inside the building. It'll tell you like, oh yeah, join this organization, or go to these meetings, or go on Eventbrite, or go on Meetup and find them here. Go on LinkedIn and look at these groups. So it gives you like some ideas. So those are the main things. I just like the marketing and that networking aspect of business the most. So I'm always looking at ways to get better at that. That's all I got. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to definitely use Blink. Thank you for sharing. I know next week we will be talking about generative AI and how to use it for business communication. So hopefully you'll join us for that one. Did anyone else want to share any of the digital tools that they use? Well, Tanya, how you doing?
I am a Microsoft person, but this has just taken me on another level. I'm like, wow, this was very useful. And I'm not a technical person at all, but I'm going to be diving into this because sometimes Microsoft can get a little bit sticky. You can only use it with certain other programs. But I'm gonna definitely start practicing and utilizing, all the sites that you had, the different platforms. So this is a big win
Thank
for
you.
Vet Art.
I appreciate that.
Hi,
I see
Tanya,
that.
it's Natasha. It's good to see you.
Good to
I
be
agree
here.
with you. What I liked about today is how you took one project, right, and you connected it to all 4 of those software platforms, creating a production system, right, where you don't, and all these systems are related. You took the image from Google to Canva to MailChimp, etc., right? So I really like the connectivity of what you showed today between all these 4 systems. So thank you so much. So like Tanya, I'm gonna get cracking too on strengthening my use of technology. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Amanda, mentioned Calendly. I love Calendly. I use Calendly with Zoom because I talk to people a lot and I love having a link saying, okay, if you want, we used to be on that back and forth, like, okay, when are you available to meet? When are you available to meet? These are the times I'm available to meet. And where it's like, hey, just schedule a meeting with me through my Calendly and you will get an automatic Zoom a link and we'll be good to go. So yes, I definitely love that scheduling platform as well. But I want to say thank you all for joining. Please, 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 I know Natasha put in the link or in the chat a survey link about today's presentation. Let me know how I did. This was the first time I've done this type of presentation. And like I realize now, like I could have spent like just an hour alone on Asana, or but I really wanted to show these 4 ones because they're like my life's blood to my nonprofit. And so hopefully you'll be able to utilize them too. But thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I look forward to the next couple weeks where we're talking about generative AI and how I use it, how nonprofit owners can use it, and how my team uses it. If you've never stepped into generative AI, I would say now is the time. So, again, thank you all, and you all have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you all.